Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Day 2 of afternoon showers. Is this going to be our new normal?
And a teen passenger killed after an SUV slams into a fire truck on I-94. What we're now learning about the driver.
And a string of bomb threats hit Metro Detroit.
According to the FBI, this is a national threat occurring across the country.
The MO is the same, and now the FBI is on the case. Those bomb threats were faxed into 4 separate locations across the metro area today.
2 child care centers in Detroit, one on Chalmers, the other on East McNichols. The others were faxed into U of D Mercy and finally a salon in Woodhaven. Let's get right to Mara McDonald. She's working the story live at FBI headquarters tonight. Mara, now we understand none of these have been credible.
Karen, not a one, and they've all been coming in via fax. For example, the one to U of D Mercy came in to the engineering department on its fax, and wait till you hear what the request is. Let me take you through it. No bombs, but plenty of time and resources were devoted to figuring out they were faux. 2 child care centers had to be evacuated earlier today when the bomb threats came in. Both are Head Start programs, both at churches, both on the east side. One at Mount Zion on East McNichols, the other at Mount Calvary on Chalmers.
A threat came in via fax machine that stated to the property managers that the facilities were rigged with explosives. If they did not pay a $25,000 ransom by way of a Western Union account, that both facilities would explode.
The FBI tells DPD this scheme has been happening across the country. The same fax threat went into U of D Mercy this afternoon and to a hair salon in Woodhaven. No explosives, but plenty of headache for the schools, businesses, and police. Back here live, we are expecting some kind of a comment, potentially a statement out of the FBI as soon as I know more. Of course, we will come back to you live. We are live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
All right, we'll check back with you a little bit later. Thank you, Mara. Well, we now know the name of a 15-year-old killed in a horrible crash late last night on I-94.
Christina Carolyn Snyder was the passenger in the Ford Escape that slammed into a fire truck parked on the highway, responding to a separate incident. Let's get out to Steve Garagiola, who has just learned some new information on the driver. Steve?
Yeah, Jason and Karen, the central question remains why, of course, but after some investigation today, we do have some information about the driver, and one contributing factor may very well be he was a very reckless driver behind the wheel. He had a suspended license from 2015. In fact, he just got that license back recently this spring. Between 2007 and 2013, multiple driving infractions, including driving without insurance, driving without a license, speeding, leaving the scene of an accident. His record was clean, his driving record for a time after that, because he was in prison. 1 plea of armed robbery, 1 conviction of armed robbery. Now, as far as what happened last night, the question remains, why did he not see all those flashing lights in front of him? The fire truck blocked the shoulder and the far right lane. A car had gone into the ditch, but with no serious injury to the driver.
Every emergency agency do the same thing, and we follow that policy. It's to protect 1 lane over the area that's involved in a car accident.
Firefighters were about to clear the scene when they heard a loud crash. A Ford Escape had slammed into the back of their fire engine.
It was a very high velocity impact. The whole rear of the truck is about 3 feet in, and it's a pretty heavy engine.
The driver of the SUV, 34-year-old Charles Horn, and his 15-year-old daughter are in critical condition. The girl's 15-year-old friend, who was in the back seat, was killed. Firefighters could not get to the jaws of life to reach the victims because it was stored in the back of the fire truck, crushed by the impact.
The prayer of the fire department are for the victim and their family, that it's a tragedy.
Well, it's just a horrible tragedy, and of course that central question of why. Again, as we know right now, Horn and his daughter remain hospitalized, and he is the only one who can really answer why he slammed into that fire truck and didn't see those lights. Jason, Karen.
Boy, tragedy is right, Steve. Do we know anything more about the girl, the family friend who was killed?
Well, we do know she was a 9th grader at Lincoln High School. The school sent home a letter this afternoon to all the families in that school telling them about this tragedy. There were grief counselors available at the school today, and they will be there again tomorrow.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Steve. The case against the man involved in the tragic death of State Trooper Chad Wolf is now in the hands of the jury.
Deliberations began this afternoon as they determined the fate of 70-year-old Charles Warren. He's the man who drove the car and trailer that dragged Trooper Wolf up I-75 for nearly 4 miles. Local 4's Rod Maloney joins us now live from Pontiac this evening. Rod, has the jury gone home for the evening?
Yes, the judge just sent them home now. They got the case around 3 o'clock, and of course it's their job to decide whether this was an accident or criminal. 70-year-old Charles Warren of Waterford faces 2 felony counts of reckless driving and leaving the scene of an accident, death resulting. Oakland County Assistant Prosecutor David Hudson told jurors Warren needs to go to jail for driving his trailer without lights and missing his turn onto I-75 at Dixie Highway, hitting Officer Wolf on his motorcycle.
The evidence in this case does show the defendant knew or had a reason to know he was involved in an accident, and that it was his driving that was the cause of it. And it was his continuing on that drove up that was the cause of this death.
The officer tossed across the top of the flatbed trailer in his riding leather jacket, catching on the trailer bolt that allowed him to be dragged beside the trailer for nearly 4 miles. Trooper Wolf died as a result of the injuries received. His body found near the trailer and the I-75 rest stop minutes later after getting dashed up against a rest stop roadside post. The jury saw patrol car video of Warren talking to himself out loud, devastated to learn that he caused the trooper's death. Defense attorney Neil Rockine pointed out this was just a tragic accident.
But basically what carelessness means is that Charlie made a mistake. Knowing exactly what Charlie did, Sergeant Lindstrom said, "Do you have any evidence that Mr. Warren made a mistake?" No.
Now, one of the things that the jury really needs to decide here is when Mr. Warren went up onto the exit to go up I-75 at Dixie Highway, and he missed that exit, did he do so in such a fashion that he hit the police officer without knowing it was there? Was it criminal or not? That's what they're trying to decide here. So they return tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., to try and get a feel for where this is all headed, and the judge did just send them home. Back to you.
Well, Rod, as they decide if his actions are criminal or they're not criminal, do they also have an option in terms of reduced charges?
Yes, they do have the option, because let's remember that these are 2 15-year felonies that Mr. Warren is facing at this point in Officer Wolf's death. And so they have the option of charging lower, or feeling like perhaps if there is evidence that there could be a lower threshold, it doesn't need to be that 15-year felony. And so there's much to decipher here. Chances are they're going to spend much of the day tomorrow talking about that.
All right, well, we'll be back in court tomorrow. We appreciate it. Thank you, Rod.
Switch gears to the forecast. Now looks like some folks are going to be dodging some raindrops again tonight.
Kind of a repeat performance from last night. Let's get over to Ben, and it's not going to be a washout, so that's the good news.
No, Karen, and very similar, just we probably won't be seeing any thunderstorms with this, but there are showers out there, and some of these coming down at least at a light to moderate clip. Approaching Dundee right now is the biggest cell that we're watching in our south zone, and that's where most of the activity is. There's just a couple little sprinkles showing up here on the Lake Huron shoreline once you get north of Port Huron. Otherwise, we'll be seeing these around at least through about 8 o'clock tonight. After that, we'll be drying out, temperatures falling into the 60s, and the skies clear out. So again, just like the last couple days, that means we're going to start with sunshine tomorrow morning. We'll tell you what the afternoon holds and look at your 4-zone forecast, all coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
Alcohol and drug use are not suspected in a crash that has left an East Point man critically injured. The crash happened this morning in Roseville on Groesbeck, south of 12 Mile Road. The victim was leaving the parking lot at a Tim Hortons when the pickup truck crashed into the side of his car. Witnesses told police the driver of the truck, who was not hurt, did not have a chance to brake, but the driver in the car had to be cut out of his vehicle. He is in critical condition. People living in a Grosse Pointe Woods neighborhood are now back in their homes following a gas leak.
And that leak was reported earlier today in the area of Morningside Drive and Vernier. It led to evacuations and road closures. Grosse Pointe North High School was also placed on temporary lockdown. People were allowed back after the gas line was capped. A gas leak happened at the same location earlier this month. It also caused residents to evacuate.
A local golfer is out swinging the competition, all while playing with a disability.
New here at 5, we'll show you how he's aiming to break multiple world records out on the course.
Also, a Grand Rapids police detective accidentally overdoses on the job. What other officers noticed and quickly did that may have just saved his life.
Today, the White House answering more questions about the widespread Russia investigation. I'm Blaine Alexander at the White House with that story coming up.
New at 6.
See the white plastic on the windows here? It's hiding this mess right here, a smashed window.
We're a little more country here, but you still got to take responsibility to make sure you're preventing things like this. So we did.
So who do they think is responsible for this? We'll hear in a minute.
Okay, Rod. Plus, state lawmakers take a big step toward changing the law regarding concealed weapons. New at 6, which requirements would be gone under the new bill passed today. Karen?
After an extended overseas trip and holiday weekend, the White House was forced to answer several questions lingering here at home. One of the biggest about the Russia investigation. And all of that happening as a key White House staffer resigns. Blaine Alexander is at the White House tonight.
And hello to you from Washington. Today, the White House once again pushed back on unnamed sources, calling many of the latest reports on the Russia investigation unsubstantiated.
Facing cameras for the first time in nearly 2 weeks, White House spokesman Sean Spicer returning to a slew of questions. Topping the list, Russia.
Your question presupposes facts that have not been confirmed.
From the White House, a pushback, but notably not a denial of the latest twist in the Russia investigation. Son-in-law and senior advisor Jared Kushner now under scrutiny. Officials saying he tried to set up back channels with Russia for private communication.
There's a lot of the stuff that has gotten pushed out based on unnamed, unaccountable sources that is very troubling.
On Twitter, the president says Russian officials must be laughing at the U.S. and how a lame excuse for why the Dems lost the election has taken over the fake news.
I think that's right, but they're laughing at how easy it is and how our president, unfortunately, is helping with their agenda.
On the heels of the president's first foreign trip, the White House downplaying tension with German Chancellor Angela Merkel, who said Europe can no longer rely on foreign partners.
They get along very well. He has a lot of respect for her.
Spicer also fielding questions about a White House shakeup. Communications Director Mike Dubke quitting after 3 months of working under President Trump.
He's very pleased with the work of his staff. I think that he is frustrated, like I am and like so many others, to see stories come out that are patently false, to see narratives that are wrong, to see quote-unquote fake news.
An abrupt end to a testy briefing with questions about Russia still lingering.
And NBC News has confirmed that the president's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, has been asked to turn over any information on Russian contacts to Congress. At the White House, Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
All right, Blaine, back here in Michigan today marks the start of the annual Mackinac Policy Conference. Devin Skillion is there for us as the conference kicks off. Devin?
The Mackinac Island Policy Conference doesn't begin in earnest until tomorrow, but there is already some policy being proposed that would change the way things are done in Lansing dramatically. I'm Devin Skillion at the Grand Hotel. The story coming up at 6.
And Ben joins us now with a look at the forecast. We mentioned a little bit of rain in the forecast, but nothing that's going to cause huge problems.
No, little being the operative word, and maybe we'll see a couple more of those rainbows like we did yesterday.
It was so pretty last night.
Made it for a lot of good pictures.
Yes, we did. We got a lot of them on storm pins, and we'll probably see a few more because there's some sun around a lot of those showers that are out there. But temperature-wise, we're doing pretty good. Anywhere between the upper 60s and low 70s, so very comfortable out there. Humidity is nowhere near our concern, and nor will it be for the upcoming 7 days. So that's on the good side of things. It is a little bit breezy out there. Wind speeds are gusting as high as 30 miles an hour down there in Lenawee County, and generally 20 to 25 across most of the area right now. So as you look out over downtown Detroit, you can see the flag blowing from the wind, but we've also got Belle Isle in the picture where they're setting up for the Grand Prix this weekend. Things do not look like they will be completely dry, and we'll talk more about that in a second. 71 outside in the sustained winds. We just looked at the gusts, but those sustained winds are out of the west at 18 miles an hour. Let's take a look at your forecast for the upcoming few nights here, as we are expecting to see a couple of those sprinkles move through in the evening hours and then start to die out as we head towards 8 o'clock tonight. Once we get into the overnight hours, we will be dry. Cold fronts start slicing in as we head towards daybreak tomorrow, but it's going to come through dry. It's probably not even going to scare up a whole lot in the way of cloud cover. But beyond that, as the cold air rushes in, there's going to be enough instability to fuel a couple sprinkles out there. Probably fewer than what we saw today, a little bit earlier as we head towards midday, and it looks like better chances are going to be on the east side, although I think most of those will probably be over the border closer to that front. Once we get into the afternoon hours on Wednesday, should remain dry, and then Thursday completely dry. Same goes for most of Friday, and then things start to get a little unsettled going into the weekend. So 55 tonight with partly cloudy skies, just an isolated shower out there that we're seeing in the early evening hours. We're going to look at high temperatures tomorrow. And remember, that cold front comes through in the morning, so the air mass is going to be a little bit cooler. Plus, we're going to have some afternoon clouds, and that's going to limit temperatures primarily to the upper 60s. A couple locations may kiss 70 degrees right there in the city and also in our south zone down towards the state line. West zone temperatures mid to upper 60s here as we range between 69 in Canton and 66 up in Flint. And pretty much same goes here in our north zone, mid to upper 60s for highs as we finish out Wednesday. There's your 7-day forecast. 70s coming back into play as we get into Thursday and really stretching through most of the upcoming forecast. Friday, that shower and thunderstorm chance looks like it is going to be late, probably in the late evening hours, so most of that day is going to be dry. And then Saturday and Sunday, good chances of showers and storms, especially as we get into Sunday. That's going to be the cooler of the 2 days. But temperature-wise, no complaints. I mean, if we could keep this going most of the summer, I think people would love it.
I think so, too.
Not too hot. Just absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben.
Let's see what Dr. McGeorge is up to today.
Well, getting a second opinion is a critical step that many patients skip. Coming up, how a second look helped save one man and why getting that second opinion may soon be a little easier.
All right, thank you, Doc. But first, a Michigan police detective overdoses on the job, what he was doing, and how some quick thinking may have just saved his life. Across Michigan tonight, stories from Tuscola County and news affecting drivers all across the state.
But we want to start in Grand Rapids, and that is where a detective accidentally overdosed while testing a white powder at the Kent County Sheriff's Department. The powder was recovered during a traffic stop late last night. He was treated with the opioid overdose reversal drug Narcan and taken to a local hospital to be checked out. He is expected to be okay. All this happened this morning at the agency's building in Grand Rapids.
In Tuscola County, a man faces multiple felony charges in connection to a violent home invasion. This is 58-year-old William Russell Williams. He's accused of attacking his wife with an axe. The charges he faces are assault with intent to murder, 4 counts of false report of a felony, and lying to a police officer. He's being held tonight on a $1 million bond. Good news for drivers across the state. Gas prices in Michigan are down about 5 cents.
We'll take anything we can get. The current statewide average is about $2.42 a gallon, according to AAA Michigan. That's about 8 cents less than it was a year ago. Metro Detroit's average daily gas price is down about 1 cent from a week ago to almost $2.45 a gallon. A Detroit man charged with killing his niece was back in court today for a hearing that will determine if he will stand trial.
Willie Harmon is accused of fatally shooting his 25-year-old niece in the head during a family gathering at his home back in December. The victim's cousin testified today, saying she heard a gunshot after her cousin took an intoxicated Harmon into his bedroom. The witness's cousin said Harmon then told her he thought he shot in the air.
State officials planning to expand options for pet lovers who might want to bring their favorite companions on camping trips. Beginning this November, the state DNR will open some state park cabins and lodges to people traveling with dogs or cats. Leashed pets are currently allowed in campsites but cannot stay in state-owned facilities. Pets will be allowed in the following pilot project sites: Harrisville State Park, Sleepy Hollow State Park, Lime Island State Park, Leelanau State Park, and Sheboygan State Park.
New at 5:30.
He was told he'd never golf again, but instead, Xander Dobrev found a way.
When I went and played golf the first time, I realized that this wasn't the end, it was really just the beginning.
To defying the odds and trying to break some records.
He was a rising star in the NFL, but nobody knew he was hiding a deep, dark secret.
I didn't see
any light at the end of the tunnel. And, only by the grace of God that I survived.
After nearly dying, he managed to turn things around. Now he's sharing his life-changing message.
But first, brand new details into Tiger Woods' DUI arrest. What police say was not a factor after they found him asleep at the wheel in the middle of the road.
It's one.
Breaking news right now in Novi. 2 people have just been found unresponsive in a pool. Those 2 people are a child around the age of 3 and an adult male who police believe is the father. Sky 4 is at the scene right now. This is happening at the Glens of Northville apartment complex that is just north of 8 Mile Road. The 2 have been rushed to the hospital. There is no word on their conditions. Again, they were found unresponsive. We do have a crew headed to the scene, and we'll bring you live updates throughout this newscast as information comes in.
Also here at 5:30, police say he was sound asleep in the middle of the road. What we're now learning about Tiger Woods' DUI arrest, including the one factor that has been ruled out.
In a statement, Tiger Woods says alcohol was not a factor, and police reports now back that statement up tonight, even though he failed all field sobriety tests.
Now police say they found the golf great asleep at the wheel of his car right in the middle of the road near his Jupiter, Florida home. Tiger Woods again making headlines off the golf course.
Tiger was arrested on charges
after he was picked up on suspicion of DUI early Monday morning.
For the longest time, we marveled at his golf shots, and now we're transfixed by this mug shot.
According to court records, Woods' car was stopped on a Jupiter, Florida road. Inside, the pro golfer was sound asleep, and when awakened by an officer, he didn't know where he was. A breathalyzer test showed no signs of alcohol in his system, and Woods later released a statement reading in part, "What happened was an unexpected reaction to prescription medications. I didn't realize the mix of medications had affected me so strongly." Woods has seen his professional and personal life play out before the public. In 2009, he wrecked his SUV, followed by an apology for extramarital affairs and a high-profile divorce. Once considered the world's top golfer, Woods has not won a major since 2008 and has undergone multiple back surgeries, including one last month. Last week in a blog post, he wrote, "I haven't felt this good in years. I want to say unequivocally, I want to play professional golf again."
We forgive and we forget very quickly in this country. So if Tiger does come back, yes, I think people will pull for him.
For now, though, golf is on the back burner as his legal case moves front and center. That will continue as Woods scheduled to be arraigned in Palm Beach County on July 5th.
British police have released another photo of the Manchester suicide bomber. The new photo shows bomber Salman Abedi wheeling a large blue suitcase while out shopping just hours before last week's bombing. The attack killed 22 people who were leaving an Ariana Grande concert. British police now want anyone in Manchester who saw Abedi during his shopping trip to come forward.
Where the suitcase went between him manufacturing the explosives and coming here to put the bomb together is the final bit that the police are trying to work out.
Meantime, Ariana Grande will return to Manchester to play a benefit concert she's calling One Love Manchester. Grande will be joined by Justin Bieber, Coldplay, Katy Perry, among others. The concert will take place on Sunday. Proceeds will go to an emergency fund for victims. New developments at this hour in the shooting death of 12-year-old Tamir Rice.
Cleveland police fired one officer who was involved in the 2014 shooting and suspended another. Timothy Lohman shot Rice in a recreational area gazebo just after the police cruiser driven by another officer skidded to a stop just feet away. They were responding to a report of a man waving a gun, but Rice had a pellet gun. Cleveland's police chief says the shooting was a dark day for the city.
This has been tough on our entire community and definitely on the Rice family. When this happened, excuse me, in 2014, I made the comment that this is, of course, a tragedy, but it's even more tragic that it happened at the hands of a Cleveland police officer.
Now, neither police officer was punished specifically for the shooting. Lohman was fired for lying on his job application, and the officer who drove the cruiser was suspended for driving the car too close to Rice.
We now know the name of a Navy SEAL killed during a Fleet Week demonstration over in New Jersey.
The Navy's saying Special Warfare Operator First Class Remington J. Peters died of injuries sustained Sunday. Peters was a part of the team, the Leapfrogs, that was conducting a coordinated jump into Liberty State Park in Jersey City. The Navy said Peters' parachute didn't open properly and he landed in the Hudson River. The 27-year-old was a veteran of 2 combat tours and had performed more than 900 jumps. We thankfully missed out on most of the severe weather this past weekend.
But lots of parts of the country were not so lucky, Ben.
Yep, 12 people down in North Carolina suffered injuries from thunderstorms. No tornadoes. These were just thunderstorms. Happened just off to the east of Fayetteville, North Carolina. 3 people taken to local hospitals. Multiple reports of downed trees on houses, and downed power lines. More than a dozen homes were damaged in these storms, including this overturned mobile home. Neighbor says he was able to help a woman who was trapped in that home when it flipped. The woman had cuts and bruises, did manage to walk away on her own. The power company down there says about 1,500 customers were without power this morning, which in Metro Detroit, 1,500 is not a big deal, but in a fairly sparsely
Fayetteville, you're right. That's a big area.
That's a lot of folks, and thank goodness that it was only a handful of people that had to go to the hospital for that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Ben.
Well, the teacher who served time in prison for having sex with her student, who she later married, is about to be single again.
Reports say Mary Kay Letourneau's husband, Billy Falau, filed for legal separation earlier this month. Letourneau was 34 years old, remember, in 1996 when she began having sex with her 6th grade student. They did get married in 2005 after she got out of prison. In good health, saved by a second opinion.
It is a critical step many patients skip for a variety of reasons. Dr. Frank McGeorge joins us tonight to explain why getting a second opinion may soon be a little bit easier for people.
Well, you know, Karen and Jason, from our phones to our cameras, even our watches, digital technology is everywhere. So now both doctors and their patients are benefiting from digital advances in ways never imagined just a few short years ago.
When Mike Minshall was told he had just 2 months to live, he and his family were devastated.
The tears well up in your eyes, and I'm standing there with my wife and my son, and almost break down completely.
But thanks to a critical second opinion at Ohio State University, Mike's prognosis is much brighter. New technology called digital pathology is allowing diagnoses to be made not only faster, but more accurately.
It has revolutionized cancer diagnostics. And this technology gives me the tools to answer the question, which I couldn't do that 5 years ago.
For decades, tumor cells were placed on glass slides for examination under a microscope. Getting them processed and mailed for review by specialists could take weeks.
With digital pathology, you take those same glass slides and you digitize them and create millions of pixels, converting them into a large image.
The digital images are far easier to store, access, and share. They also allow doctors to more accurately stage and grade specific types of cancer. Thanks to an accurate diagnosis, Mike is now cancer-free.
Thank God my son and daughter-in-law were pushing me and my wife and to go and get this other opinion.
Now, Ohio State is actually starting an ambitious new project that involves digitizing thousands of slides going back 5 years. It's just another example of how technology is changing healthcare on a very personal level.
I know you just kind of assume that you've already made that advancement, but it takes a lot of time and work for all medical institutions to make that change.
Exactly, and you really have to basically work in that digital scheme, that workflow to try and digitize these things, but it is happening on a consistent basis now.
In the second opinion.
Hopefully it'll save lives, that's for sure.
Yep.
Thanks, Doc. A local golfer is schooling the competition in an incredible way.
Xander Dobrev plays to a 13 handicap, which is really good for most golfers. But here's the thing, Xander only has the use of one arm. Our Jamie Edmonds caught up with him today as he aims to break multiple world records.
Playing golf with 2 hands is hard enough. Now imagine taking an arm away. Well, Xander Dobrev's figured it out.
As long as there's hope, which is what this is all about, then you go ahead and here we are out here on the golf course. Go smack one.
Xander Dobreff's swing is so pure, so effortless, you'd never know he does it with just one arm.
I tried to just catch that front edge and run it in there.
A terrible car accident back in 2009 left Dobrev without the use of his left arm.
My arm got punctured by a piece of the door, and I woke up a couple days later. I knew that I had been in an accident. I didn't know how serious it was, so the first thing I asked the doctor, I had a soft cast on. I asked him, I said, how soon can I play golf again? And he said, you'll never golf again.
He sees himself as lucky to have even survived the accident. Soon thereafter, he went about living again.
I know for me, after my traumatic accident, you know, like it was about like, what can I still do? It wasn't really about what can't I do, it was about what can I still do.
One thing he found, he can still swing a club with the best of them. He calls this the Xander tuck.
I tuck it underneath and then just, like I said, you know, it's about adapting.
It seems the tuck is working. This Washington, Michigan native has won 3 times on Golf Channel's amateur tour, beating guys with 2 arms. Up next, a new challenge.
Yeah, there's a couple Guinness World Records I'm after. The fastest 9 holes ever recorded with one arm, the lowest 9 holes ever recorded with one arm.
He's already shot a 32 on 9 holes before, and he believes he could complete those 9 holes in 45 minutes. Both would get his name in the book, defying the odds and hopefully inspiring others along the way.
I hope that somebody that needs this will see this and create hope in their life. Will give them an inspiration to go out and either play golf or play tennis or whatever it is, find your passion and do it.
Out on the course, Jamie Edmonds, Local 4.
Love it.
I love. He's going to inspire a lot of people with that.
I really do. It's not what I can't do, it's
Right.
what can I still do.
Golf's about rhythm. You get that rhythm even with one arm. I can see how you can do that. Good for him. A driver in a hot pink Jeep takes off when police try to pull her over, but it's not quite what you think.
That's right. The hilarious results after this very young driver decides to take off.
Police calling it a deadly mistake. What one man here did at the foot of a cliff that cost him his life.
But first, a former NFL player is using a sobering message to help others.
It's never too late to go in and to get your life back.
How he is using his own personal struggles to help others overcome addiction. Coming up.
Sky 4 also remains over the scene of a breaking news story in Novi where a man and a child have just been pulled from a pool. Both were found unresponsive in the water you see there at the Glens of Northville apartment complex off 8 Mile. They have been rushed to Providence Park Hospital. We have no word on their conditions at this moment. We will bring you a live report, though, from the scene at 6 o'clock.